Hi everyone, welcome back to Pacific Front channel. When I did some research about the Canadian River class destroyer last week, I stumbled upon another Canadian naval program with an interesting story. What I mean by interesting is that despite her outstanding capability per her mission set, she also gets criticism for not being something else. Today, we're gonna discuss Canada's Harry the Wolf class Arctic and offshore patrol vessel, why people criticize her, and why I think this IOPV is the best for the task. Stay tuned! Harry the Wolf class Arctic and offshore patrol vessel, or AOPV, is a class of OPV for the Royal Canadian Navy built as part of Canada's national shipbuilding strategy. The project was announced in 2007 to provide the Canadian Armed Forces with 6 to 8 patrol ships capable of traveling through thick ice in the Arctic Ocean. In 2010, the project was grouped with several other government ship procurement projects, and Irving Shipbuilding was awarded a contract to build a total of 8 AOPVs, 6 for the Navy and 2 for the Coast Guard. The AOPV began construction in 2015 with the first steel cutting of the lead ship HMCS Harry the Wolf held in September, launched in 2018, and commissioned in June 2021. As of December 2024, the sixth and last ship HMCS Robert Hampton Gray has been launched and currently undergoing fitting out. Harry the Wolf class has a length of 103 meter, beam of 19 meter, and draft of 5.6 meter. Although she is 30 meters shorter than the Halifax frigate, she displaces almost 2,000 more water than the Halifax class at 6,290 tons. Powered with 2 diesel-electric propulsion, which can produce 4.5 megawatts of electricity, she has a maximum speed of 17 knots and a range of 6,800 nautical miles. She has accommodation for 65 crew plus 20 mission crew and a hangar and flight deck that can accommodate a CH-148 Cyclone. Other important features to note include 3 and 20-ton cranes, a vehicle bay for rapid mobility over land or ice using pickup trucks and snowmobiles, a multi-purpose operational space, and an enclosed cable deck to protect foredeck machinery and workspace from the harsh Arctic environment. Harry the Wolf is armed with a remotely operated BAE Mark 38 25mm cannon at the bow and 2 50-cal machine guns. She is also equipped with Thermascanter 6002 surveillance radar, Lockheed Martin Canada CMS 330, Sharp Eye X and S-band navigation radar, and Sagem Blue Note inertial navigation systems. Now, let's address the negativity and criticism towards Harry the Wolf class, starting with cost. I do understand that the AOPV project cost is higher to begin with compared to other vessels in the same category, and the cost has skyrocketed from 4.3 billion to 4.98 billion for 6 ships. It also doesn't help with the public's image of the project, knowing that the 2 AOPVs built for the Coast Guard cost more while carrying no guns at all. From my understanding, the cost is not solely for the purchase of the ships alone, but also for maintenance and support for the entire 25 years of expected service life. Canada's shipbuilding industry itself can be said to be not competitive, especially in naval shipbuilding, compared to European nations, Korea, or China. This makes building a warship in Canada always pricier than in other parts of the world. Added that this is the first major surface ship built in Canada in 5 decades, meaning the shipyard must be outfitted to the present day first before they can handle modern and advanced shipbuilding works. As for why the cost has spiked, in 2022, the Assistant Deputy Minister of Defense and Marine Procurement testified that the increased cost was the result of the labor shortages and supply chain issues brought on by the pandemic. Although he said COVID was not responsible for all the issues, it didn't help the shipbuilding industry whatsoever. And as for why the Coast Guard variant is more expensive than the Navy, he said even though the ships may look the same, they are fundamentally different. The bridge wings have been expanded and the interior has been changed, making it a different ship. The other cost was the spike in the price of steel when the Coast Guard variant started construction. The first 6 ships benefited from the material procurement made ahead of time when the steel prices were way cheaper and more stable. Critics also describe these ships as useless in terms of combat effectiveness, as they are incapable of going to war or defending themselves against enemy warships. That might have some validity if they were designed for combat, which they are not. hence the name Arctic and Offshore Patrol Vessel. They were designed to provide surveillance and assist in Canada's Arctic Ocean, breaking the ice and patrolling Canada's sovereignty up north. Harry the Wolf is designed with Polar Class 5 hull and Polar Class 4 bow that will allow her to perform year-round ice-breaking operations in medium shear ice up to a meter thick, something that surface combatant warships unable to do. Some also argue that the Mark 38 cannon and 2 heavy machine guns are too weak, and suggest that a bigger 30 or 40mm cannon with an automatic firing mode will be better suited, which I had the same thoughts at first, but considering what they will be expected to encounter, these guns are more than enough to chase down any Arctic smuggling activity or piracy that might occur. Many might wonder, why is Canada investing in this project in the first place? The answer is, the Arctic is opening up. The thick blocks of ice there are melting, clearing the way for ships to travel through. According to the Canadian government, by 2050, the Arctic Ocean will become an increasingly viable shipping route between Europe and Asia during the summer. This is a big deal, because right now, the fastest way to ship goods between Europe and Asia is through the Suez Canal and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. But as we've seen more and more, this is not always a reliable route. So what if, instead of going through the Middle East, we could go north and use the melting Arctic Ocean as a shortcut? There are two ways to do this. One is what is known as the Northern Sea Route, which passes Russia, and the Northwest Passage, which passes Canada's Northern Archipelago. These shortcuts offer a much shorter path between, let's say, the UK and Japan, saving up to 5,000 km, like a third of the trip, or a full week of travel. And the warmer the ocean gets, the easier for these routes to navigate. Moreover, the Arctic reportedly still has a lot of untapped natural resources, which can make anyone who controls it several hundred billion richer. A potential conflict with another Arctic and non-Arctic nation that shows interest in this region has become more evident too. Over the past decade, Russia has been building up its military presence in the Arctic and activating its bases in this region. It's estimated that Russia now has nearly double the number of military bases in the Arctic than Canada, the US, Denmark, and Norway combined. Unfortunately, despite becoming the main character in the Arctic battle, Canada has little to no maritime surveillance capability in this region. And analysts have for a long time argued that Canada's Arctic is too vulnerable. So, some of Canada's plans to change this situation are to invest in NORAD as well as modern icebreaker ships. Harry the Wolf will provide that measure of control of Canadian sovereignty in the Arctic, so visible presence as the sea ice melts and maritime traffic increases, and also assist and support other government departments as required. And that's it for today. Harry the Wolf class AOPV, Canada's misunderstood naval vessel. What do you think about this ship? Does it meet the requirement, or is it bad just like the people say? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.